This woman rolled over, unraveled a piece of candy, and stuck it in her mouth. And I was like, is that you? She goes, I just felt like eating a piece of candy right now.
No. I said I wanted to eat it, but I fell asleep.
Coming to you from 125 Carver in Waco, Texas, it's the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions are fun, real, and at times very uncomfortable. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to like and subscribe, and please ring the bell. Now, here are your hosts, Pastor Cello and Pastor Mia.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? It is Wednesday.
Bam. Welcome. It's Wednesday. Sorry, coffee is a no-go for me. So I just want to say that I am delayed as I have a 1972 processor. So without coffee, I must reboot the system. Reboot. Just kidding. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday podcast. We are here with Riverside Weekly. I am Pastor Mia Lozano, and this is Pastor Cello Lozano. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the podcast. We appreciate your follow, your like, and subscribe.
Beep, beep, beep.
Anyway, welcome to Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Yeah, at least that's what we used to say.
Yep.
I love your pink, but it is not October, so thanks for the cancer awareness month.
I was doing it because it matched my shirt.
Well, it does. And you with your controversial shirts. Again, it is New Shirt Wednesday. That's my horn. If I had a real one, it would be like, because I am... Literally, y'all, just put a nail in my hand and just bang at it. Because without the coffee, without the Dr. Pepper, I am dragon, not a lizard. I don't do that tongue
thing. So are you doing a
New Year's resolution? New year, new me, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm not because New Year's...
So tell us, why are you not drinking Dr. Pepper or coffee?
Well, first of all, let's talk...
Our viewers would really like to know.
So... Phosphate is not good for you.
What is phosphate?
Phosphate is in soda, and it eats your bones. It deteriorates the calcium in your bones and eats your bones. So,
where'd you read that at?
WebMD, duh. By the way, that's an inside joke, y'all. We were listening to a comedian, and he said, no matter what you do on WebMD, if you go and you check, no matter what you do, it always leads to...
There's always one of the symptoms always leads to death.
Yeah.
All the symptoms... WebMD, when you go through check, when it finally gives you your diagnosis... Every one of the diagnoses is terminal.
Yeah.
At least one, not every one. At least one.
Right. But no matter what you check, there's always 6 things wrong with you, right?
There's always...
Yeah, and they don't match up. So now we make fun of WebMD. And no, I did not get my info from WebMD. My doctor actually told me that many years ago when I first gave up Dr. Pepper. This is actually my 3rd time working on it. I gave it up for a year, and then I took it back. I gave it up for Lent, okay? Anyway, I did not. I'm just kidding. I'm not making fun, y'all. My husband is Catholic, so. But I actually gave
That's
it
okay,
up.
I know Christians.
Okay, good.
I can make fun of them.
I know Catholics.
I can make fun of them.
Yeah. Anyway.
Some of my best friends are Catholics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, I gave up sodas for a year, just like we gave up meat for a year, but we seem to go back to those things.
Slackers.
No, we're not slackers. I think it just goes to habits.
Slackers.
Let's just talk about habits today because,
Slackers.
People who say new year, new me, they try to come out with a resolution and you really can't do a New Year's. Your head is so big, it's cracking me up. And then it's going,
sliding up.
as you're talking.
I can feel it sliding up.
New year, new you.
Something.
Anyway, so saying all that to say that everyone has New Year's resolutions, but that's not why I gave up Dr. Pepper nor coffee. And I'm going to tell you what I told my friends because it's really funny. And if you know Spanish, then you'll laugh with me. I tell them, mi tripas quieren no Dr. Pepper, because I can't talk Spanish to them. So I can't really, communicate. So I just use words to plug them in where I think they might.
Spanglish?
Yeah. And I'm like, mi cuerpo said, no soda. So, and they're just, they're laughing. Ay, mia. That's the thing they say all the time. So, but I think for health reasons, my body is telling me, listen, we done had enough of your junk and we're tired and we ain't gonna put up with it no more.
That's funny.
So that's why I'm not on Dr. Pepper. And I tried to trudge through and do the coffee and got my gallbladder out just so I could have coffee. And my body is just like, listen, Linda.
So you're going to be 50 when?
This year. This year,
This year,
2022.
That's
Big
probably
50.
what it is. Your body's changing, so now you're getting, first the gray hair comes. And
Listen,
well, no.
listen, I love my silver locks.
First the gray hair comes.
Okay.
And then the hair starts coming from everywhere. And then you start sagging and things start drooping.
Whoa.
Things start expanding.
Whoa.
And then your body starts shifting. And then now, just to get up off the toilet you're tired. Get off the couch,
I don't know.
you're tired.
I'm sorry, not me. But, one of our friends.
Naps are no longer frowned upon. They're encouraged.
One of our friends one time said that he can't go to a movie because he can't sit long because his legs fall asleep. I'm thinking, wow, how do you go to the bathroom? Your legs
How
are...
long you on that toilet, man? I'll be out in an hour.
I'm just saying, when somebody says that, it just blows my mind. Anyway, I don't know. I think a lot of people try to get stuck at the new year, new me. And Heather said this one time. If y'all don't know her, she
Shout out to Heather.
Yeah, shout out to Heather. She said, I don't do a New Year's resolution because then if I fail it or if I quit it within a week, it makes me upset and then I just don't want to do anything. But if you set a weekly goal or a daily goal, then that makes you want to press forward and do some things. And that's what I've been talking about.
I've been trying to make my bed every day of the week.
I know. I'm so proud of you. Listen, y'all.
I can't speak for her side, but my side looks good.
I was going to say, he messed up, and did I go to work or I went somewhere and I came back and you left early, then I left and you said, hey, who didn't make this bed? I don't know. Somebody who doesn't live with us. And I looked at him and I just said, that's your new thing, not mine.
Just trying to get better at some stuff.
Yeah, you are.
Little bitty stuff.
I'm proud of you.
So somebody's watching me like, you don't make your bed? Man, I ain't made my bed.
Listen, we hadn't made our bed in 30 years, 40 years. I'm just saying.
To get beat for not making my bed.
Yeah. And he was just
Now,
like, nah, I'm not going to make it.
I'm going to rebel after I move out. No more bed making.
Yeah, but then what's funny is, like you said, when you get older, your body starts to do some things, and that nap just comes, and you don't like to lay in that messy bed, so he made the bed.
And I'm going to be honest with you, when I make my bed, it looks good on the outside. Because them sheets are all over the place.
He don't pull the sheet. He don't fold it.
I was like,
what are all these lumps in there? And I lift it up and all these pillows in there. I'm like, who made this bed?
I do push the pillows up to the front. I push the pillows up to the front, but the sheet, whatever, the sheet that's
and my clothes, my night clothes, my robe, anything that I was using that morning, my brush, whatever.
When you walk in, you're like, wow, the bed's made. But if you pull it back,
crumbs, toenails. No, I'm just kidding.
It's kind of like when you stuff hide things under the carpet.
But now you hide it
under the comforter.
Yeah. Did you know? Here we go back to that one. Did you know that they make comforters that you actually have like pillows attached so that they can just go and you just throw it on your bed? We
need to order some of those.
Because the pillows are like, they just flop over and all you do is pull it up. My grandma used to have one, my grandma Romo, and she would ask me to make her bed. And I'm like, woman, it's one comforter. The sheet is attached and the pillows are attached. So you just pull that mug up and it's made. Bam! What's the problem? No, I'm just kidding. She did, but I don't know where she got it. It's one of the Mexican, grandma blankets.
I can talk about Mexicans.
I'm a Mexican. Me too.
I know some.
Oh, okay. Anyway, going back to setting goals and doing that type of thing, I think for me, it really wasn't a goal until I decided, or until my body decided that it didn't want that anymore. And so I'm like, I try to come against the grain, and I try to push against the goads. Is that what you say?
Kick against the
kick
goads.
against the goads, but it doesn't work that way because my body will be like, "Ow!" And I'm like, the slap in the back of the head when your mom, when you were little, came out of nowhere type thing. So, or the frying pan video type thing. But anyway, so I am not working on a new year, new me, but it would be nice to.
You're working on a new you.
Yeah.
Just not for the new year.
New year, right. A new me for me, not for the new year. How's that?
Okay, I got you.
And I think, and I've been talking about this lately to some women, but I think that when you set goals, that you should set a weekly goal and not a monthly goal, and not, set a weekly goal first and then move on to some other things, because that to me is obtainable.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Small goals equal larger goals.
Mm-hmm.
I always give a hard time. I'm always given a hard time because I do 30, 60, 90-day goals, but I don't know. Been doing it for a while, so when I set that goal, I'm like, I got to get that, I got to reach that, I got to go after that. I'm real good about that on things that on external, but when it comes to internal, I'm still trying to lose 200 pounds.
You're just trying to get down to 200 pounds, not lose 200 pounds.
If I could lose 200 pounds, I'd be.
Hey, you'd be a pencil. He'd be like this big, or a toothpick.
I'm trying to get down to 200 pounds.
Are you? How hard are you trying? Let's talk about commitment issues.
I'm committed.
Are you? To what?
Trying.
That's pretty good.
I'm committed to trying.
But you'll be here all week, right?
I am committed to trying.
Well, and I think that's a start.
It is a huge start. I've been trying for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Almost. About 7-8 years I've been trying.
Well, I think that's how we did going plant-based. We were real good at trying, and we did it for a year, and that's how we were with the Dr. Pepper the first time. I gave up the Dr. Pepper, and then I switched over to coffee more, and then even when I tasted it, I was like, and then just my mind kept telling me, my body kept telling me no. But my mind. I'm sorry, y'all. But my mind tells me yes, but my body tells me no. Now all you hear is that song, right? I don't even know that song. But sing it for me, baby. Sing it for me.
It's not the song as much as it is the individual. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
You can hardly sing any of his songs these days without thinking about everything he's done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, saying all that to say that, and I think really that's where we have the issue is our mind. When we start new goals or new habits, our mind is really what we're wrestling with.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, come on.
I think, well, let me rephrase that. I don't really know if I agree that it's just your mind as much as it is our flesh, our bodies. We're such creatures of habit. I mean, there are parts of us with our mind and our subconscious that we do things.
That's true. That is true.
That's why
we drive?
That's why your car will drive you home even without your.
It's your subconscious. We talked about that.
But I think that our bodies are so used to certain things that it begins to crave it, and it's hard to get off of it. Like
Sweatos.
Yes, I mean,
addiction.
Yeah, it is. You're addicted. We're addicted to carbs. We're addicted to
love.
Sugar. Well, love is butter and sugar, so you're addicted to love.
You mean butter and love are the same things?
Butter and love and sugar, they're all
lumped together.
You can interchange them. So when Jesus says, "I love you," he says, "I sugar you."
I have all these songs in my head. All I heard was "Pour some sugar on me." Sorry, I know. So,
I
don't know.
Love, sugar, carbs, all the same.
It's all the same.
Butter, bacon. So our bodies, we literally have programmed our bodies, and we programmed how we eat. And so basically, like we're addicted to sugars. We're addicted to certain things, and if our body doesn't have those, that's where that addiction comes in. You start sweating, your head hurts. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people like, I got a headache, I need a Coke, or I need a Dr. Pepper, or I need soda, or I need some sugar. And that is literally that's what makes it challenging, is that we don't realize how addicted to things that we are. And
screen time, same thing.
Yeah, screen time. Everything.
You get a headache from staring at your phone.
This is crazy. I was reading an article about screen time. I know we're talking about all these different things.
No, that's fine.
But I was reading an article on screen time, and did you know the average person in a 24-hour period will spend anywhere between 8 to 10 hours on their phone?
Wow, there's 24 hours in a day. You're already sleeping 8 of those, so you're on your phone for 8 of those?
Yes, this is what's crazy, is that we don't realize it because we do it in 30-second and 1 minute, 2 minute increments at a time. And so we don't realize that picking up our phone, checking a message, checking text message, checking our notifications, checking emails, like we're on it, but we're spending a lot of time on there. And I was like, man, 8 to 12 hours, that's a long time.
That it is.
So if you have one of those apps that'll tell you how much screen time you have,
no, your phone has it. You don't have to have an app.
No, well, some folks that are not Apples, they have to. We're not going to mention names.
You're a bad apple.
No, they're not an Apple. And so, but anyway, so when you talk about our minds, yes, it is our subconscious, but I think our flesh, our bodies, they crave those things that we've been feeding it. Not for just like a couple of months, but like we've been eating sugar, most of us, our entire lives. And then you're talking about, what is it, the chemical you said? What is it?
Phosphate.
So if you think about a child who's drinking soda or Dr. Peppers.
Let's not talk about sodas out of a bottle.
No, I'm just saying like out of a bottle. Like, I'm just saying in general.
I'm teasing.
If you drank that from an early age, we're talking, childhood, toddler, then we get addicted to that. Here's the crazy thing, is that a lot of times we give our kids juices and fruit box juices and Capri Suns, and those things have just as much sugars as sodas.
Yeah, definitely.
So
even the gummies.
Yeah, so it's just a transition of where we're at, and we get addicted to those things. So it's we live in a get all spiritual.
Come on.
We live in a fallen world, and everything that we encounter is literally designed to bring death to us.
Wow.
Like everything. Like you have to consciously make a decision not to think and live that way, which is very, very, very difficult.
Wow.
And that's why I'm still at 235 pounds.
I mean, it is the thing. Okay, so I did find something, phosphoric acid. And that, it's funny because that's where phosphate comes from. And it's actually a weak acid with a chemical formula. The pure compound is a colorless solid. So that I would assume that they're putting that in our sodas, which makes the phosphate in there. Because I looked up phosphate too.
Fact checker.
Yeah, I was like, y'all can fact check me all you want. You're not on here.
No, I'm talking about you, fact checker.
Oh, yeah. It says, in chemistry, a phosphate is an anion salt functional group or ester derived from a phosphoric acid. Right there. That's why it's eating your bones. It's an acid, and it's eating the enamel off your teeth, which is why when you're a baby and you're drinking sodas, we won't mention any names, it eats the enamel off your teeth and you have to get new teeth. Or you have to wait till the new ones grow in. I'm just saying, because that did happen, and that is a fact. So I'm just saying that phosphate, for me, knowing that osteoporosis can run in people's families, which is the deterioration of bones. I want to stay away from that as I hit my. It's not sesquint. It's not. It's centennial, right?
Subprime. I don't know.
No, what is 50?
Prime.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Prime.
I'm a Prime.
I'm 1 year in. Then call me Optimus Prime.
I'm 1 year. I'm 1 year in.
Okay. Yes, you are. Well, 100 is centennial, right? And 50, you don't even know.
I don't.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
Prime.
Tell me what you were gonna. You were gonna say something. You were gonna say something.
No, I was just gonna say that, like, when
bicentennial,
we don't realize that when you've been feeding your body for that so long, it's hard for our bodies and our minds to wrap our bodies and our minds around and our self-control around those things, because we're so used to feeding that to our bodies.
Yeah.
And so as we get older, that's why it's so hard for us to make adjustments, because we are creatures of habit, and we keep doing the same thing, and it's hard. And so the thing, I think I heard a guy say one time, he says, if you can think in terms of how long you plan to live, or how long would you like to live, you actually have more time than you think that you do to make adjustments.
Yes.
Because the way that the body was created, the way God created us, is that our body will heal itself if we can feed it the right things.
Yes, correct.
If we can make better decisions. We can make better decisions.
Yes.
So you can have 30 years of just really rotten health, and then your next 30 years, let's say you live to 60, that's another 30 years.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 30 years of really good health, right? And if you're really good health, you can go up to 70, right? So like my mom's like 70, she's in her 70s, right? So you're that's why I said in your prime. So in your last, I'm just throwing this out there. Let's say you live to 90 years old.
Okay.
We're just going to use 90. So that tells me that I have another 40 years
to get it right,
to get everything
and to
else
lose,
right,
to fix it, and to
I've got another 40 years to get down to 200 pounds.
Woohoo!
Let's start now.
Yeah. Here we go.
But see, a lot of times we get discouraged, going back to what you're talking about, setting baby goals, small goals, is we get discouraged because we think, well, I have to do it by this time.
No,
your
not
lifestyle,
at all.
the lifestyle that we're living right now, how we eat, the things that we drink, the exercise, lawn exercise, whatever that looks like, that was created over 10, 20, 30 years, right? And so if you can start making those adjustments now, the older that you get, if you can think in terms of living to be 70 or 80 years old, whatever that is, now you have that much time. I heard a comedian say the other day, he says, you got to live the best life that you can. He says, because if you're going back to what he said, he goes, if you're 40, I think he said 40, something like that, and you're going to live to you're 80, that's how many summers you have left.
That's funny.
So if you're 40 and you plan to live into 80, you got 40 summers left.
Yeah. That's how you got to look at life.
If you plan on living to 70, you got 30 70s left.
Yeah.
Summers left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I just started laughing. I was like, that's crazy. But we don't think in those terms because the world is not designed to let us think in those terms. We feel like we have to lose all the weight in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
You have to lose weight in the next...
The only way to lose weight in 30 days is to get on crack, and that's not good for you either, so don't do that.
So we don't think in these terms. So we're always trying to meet these goals, and you might be achievable, but they're non-sustainable.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And so
that's right.
Sustainable means that you can
Change
maintain
your
it.
lifestyle.
That's where living longer, making better decisions change. Because for myself, and I guess we can wrap up with this, is myself, like I don't really like to eat at fast food restaurants.
Yeah, you don't.
And I used to go to fast food restaurants all the time. But I think about it now, and I can't remember last time I'm like, you know what? Let's go to McDonald's, or let's go, like, I don't even, somebody's like, McDonald's, like, Whataburger. I'm like, do I have a Whataburger every once in a while?
Every once in a while.
Do I have a McDonald's?
Almost never.
Maybe once a year, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say
And then I can't, and usually when I eat it, I'm like miserable afterwards.
And it's only because your wife made you, though.
Yeah, usually.
That's usually.
And so the idea is that if we can learn to make those adjustments in increments, then our lifestyle will change. So there are things that I don't eat that I used to eat.
I know. I'm so proud of you. You guys, he hasn't had an Oreo in almost 2 years.
Oh, man, those are whew. And I don't miss them. That's what's
I know,
crazy.
that's crazy. And you used to, like religiously. Those were like a Sunday treat.
Yeah.
And not a Sunday treat for you. It was every treat.
Yeah, like
every day.
Yeah, exactly.
And all your friends knew that, and they would buy you Oreos.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like when you start making adjustments in your life and in your lifestyle, that's when you begin to have success. Not trying to have it in 30 days, trying to have it in 90 days. Give yourself a full 12 years. Give yourself a full 12 months to even 3 to 4 years, 5 years to be able to achieve, because you might get down to 200 pounds if that's where you're trying to get, but to stay there
and maintain it.
And that's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get frustrated and we get tired of losing.
Well, that's why I tell everybody, start with a weekly goal. If you'll start with a weekly goal, then you can accomplish a weekly goal and you can high five yourself and be like, woo, yeah. Listen, y'all.
Weekly goes too hard, too difficult.
Not for me.
Too hard for me.
No, not for me. See, and that's the thing. We're two different people. For you.
Weekly goal is too hard.
Okay.
I'm good for a day. If I could just not do this today.
Okay, Heather. That's the same thing
today.
Heather
If I can
said.
do it today, I'm straight.
But listen.
Tomorrow,
okay,
Lord help me.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'll.
That's just me, though.
And that's okay. That it can be a day, 7 days. But I'm just saying that for me to take the Dr. Pepper out, y'all, I had went 2 days.
I live with her, bro. Pray for me. Pray for me. I need a Dr. Pepper.
Listen, Linda. Let's just tell them about the little story. The little rat. So, I like to keep snacks on the side of my bed. Listen,
She's telling on herself.
I am telling on.
I've only think about. Well, I was gonna say she's telling. I think I shared that in service one time.
Did you?
I don't know if I did or not. Anyway, go ahead.
So.
I'll tell the story. So, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sorry.
3 o'clock in the morning. I get up to use the restroom. I lay back down to go to sleep. She's out. She's knocked out. I lay back down. I'm getting comfortable. I start dozing off, and then all I can hear is this just rustling of paper, just like a rat. And I'm like, holy cow! There's a rat inside. There's a rat inside the bedroom. Like I hear rat. This woman rolled over, unraveled a piece of candy, and stuck it in her mouth. And I was like, is that you? She goes, I just felt like eating a piece of candy right now.
No, I said I wanted to eat it, but I fell asleep.
Fell asleep while she wanted that candy, so I rolled over and decided I was going to eat it in the middle of the night and just still asleep.
I wanted it.
Still asleep. And I'm like, that's fat. I mean, she like, didn't even turn the light on, nothing. The light was off. It was dark in the room.
It
and all I hear
was so funny because he was like, that is fat of you. And I was like, I'm not fat. It's just I wanted it before I went to bed, but I fell asleep. And so when I woke up, I was thinking about it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys watching. And we're going to let her catch her breath. Thanks for liking, subscribing, man. Thanks for all our Patreon supporters, man. Love you guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Come back next week where we will give you more laughs. I promise. See you.
I'll let you guys later.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineering provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.